in with your group and you get a assets, you pick the 3 you want. Can I look at that list after you pick 2 more?
For 1995. I was kidding.
1995. There we go again.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
For sure. All right. So management shares majority of the risk by securing the first lien of trust. In other words, by funding the majority of it. Investors' capital contribution is minimized. Down payment, rehab, and leverage. Those are really the expenses that the money is diversified to. And I'll explain that in a little bit more detail. So again, the point of why I'm sharing some of the benefits we offer is because we really want to teach you to have benefits in your product. If there are no real solid benefits that you can depict within your product, you're not going to sell. And if you don't sell, you have to make money. And if you don't have investors, or you're wholesaling, if you don't have the right buyers, because you don't have an offer that is clear, that is concise, you're not going to have a very sustainable business. Do you guys follow me?
Yeah.
So this is crucial. All right, let's get in here. So here's an example of a purchase. All right, and I put a bunch of fees in here that a lot of times don't even pertain to it. I just want to give you some real numbers. In California, we're financing up to 65% of the ARV. We, and what I mean by we is we have even a hedge fund that joined us recently who funds a lot of our deals for us based on our credibility. That's huge for our credibility. That took us a long time to do because a lot of these guys do not like trusting people with their money like that. But we built a really good relationship. On a purchase, and this is a very vague example, on 70% of the ARV, we purchase a property at $200,000. There's an initial deposit of $2,000. We would fund $185,575. Not too shabby on a purchase like that. Title fees, everything else out the door. The investor's cash out of pocket for the down payment would be $26,325. Big difference from having to pay $200,000 himself. You guys with me so far?
Yes.
On the resale, there are some components here that I want to really point out. The resale at 70% of ARV is about $285,500. That's the retail value after repairs. All right. Now there are certain closing costs that are fixed. Now Stu made a point that here the commission is about 6% and it's fair.
Right.
That's fair. California, the price points are much higher. So in California, your average commission is about 4%. We offer 5%, but we do something completely unique that most people don't do. And this is what we do. We will list the property. Now, this is not every single transaction, and I'll explain why later, but for most of the transactions, we will list the property through our brokerage. And we will offer 100% of the commission to the buyer's agent.
Wow. All about
Think about what I just said. So now, the buyer's agents are literally racing down the street to sell my property because they're getting 100% commission. So they look on the MLS, all these houses in the same neighborhood, because their buyers looking in that area. They see 3%, 2%, 3%, 2%, 5%. Whoa, we're going there right now. And that's one of the reasons why we move so fast. So you can point that one out. If you're flipping homes, that is a great way to compensate the agent who's doing the work and bringing the buyer. Because at the end of the day, that's how you realize your appreciation, right? Another thing we did that's very powerful for most cases, again, it all depends, but this is typically in our module when we're doing our research, and that is we also pay up to 2% of the purchase price to cover the buyer's closing costs. We found that many times we were leaving money on the table, and the buyers were qualified, but they had a certain amount of capital that they needed for the down payment. So when it came time to close, they didn't have the money to cover the closing costs. So then we had to discount it anyway or find a way to cover it. So we just said, you know what, for every acquisition, we're just going to pay for the closing costs. Now, if they lowball me, that's a different story, because then I'll take away certain things like that, right? But do you guys understand where I'm coming from?
Right.
That right there has helped us move properties so much faster.
That's like a seller concession, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's the way we do it. Now, of course, we rehab it.